Welcome to CT BizCast. I'm your host, Ali Warshavsky, and in today's episode, we speak with the New Canaan Chamber of Commerce about the unique ways they are trying to revitalize the downtown following an unprecedented year and a half. I would like to welcome Tucker Murphy, Administrative Officer of the town of New Canaan, and Laura Budd, the Executive Director of the New Canaan Chamber of Commerce, to our podcast. Welcome. Tucker, how long have you been in that role?
I've only been a little less than a year as administrative officer. However, I was the executive director at the chamber for the last 12 years.
So Laura, you're taking this over. You've been there for about a year?
Well, actually, I started with Tucker in 2012 as her marketing arm. And then when she left, the board appointed me as executive director, but we still work together very closely every day.
So some strong teamwork you have going on for the past couple of years.
Yes, for sure. Thank you for having us, by the way.
Of course. Take me back to New Canaan downtown March of 2020 as the state started to really shut down things. What did it look like?
Well, it was really scary. Our office is here right on Elm Street in downtown New Canaan. And to have that feeling that no one was here and to know that our business owners, our chamber members, were cut off from their customers, cut off from their cash flow. And so we put our heads together and decided we needed to come up with a pathway to let people get inside the stores without being inside the stores. So we created a series called Zoom Downtown. We partnered with our library, who provided their enterprise level Zoom platform. We had a local production and marketing guy step in and help us. And we had a series of three events that were hosted on our local cable as well as through the library's Zoom. And we brought people into stores, and store owners would step up and talk about what was in their store and what was going on. We did 2 about retail and 1 about restaurant, and they were very well received. We even got local resident and celebrity Allison Williams to kick off the first one for us. So it was a great town effort, and people really appreciated it. And it allowed people to see what was going on inside the stores and make them feel connected to the business owners.
And did some New Canaan businesses have to shut their doors permanently due to the pandemic?
There were some shutdowns, but most of them were large corporate decisions, and that were maybe even pre-COVID that was going to happen. Most of our independent retailers and restaurants really rode it out. And the good news is we've seen some open since COVID and since we've come out, which is really exciting.
You know, what are you doing with the open storefronts that you might have? I heard you have a pretty creative way of filling the spaces, making them look more vibrant than a for lease sign in the window.
Yeah, we certainly do. One of the things that we pride ourselves on is just the whole look of our downtown. And we actually like to refer to it as a village, and it feels like a village. And we like to think of it that way. But so one of the things that we did with some of our empty storefronts was recognize that because we're so pedestrian friendly, to have people just walking by an empty store that might have brown paper on the windows with a for rent sign, we decided to take some line drawings of some of our iconic buildings in New Canaan and produce some banners that we then put up into these store windows. And the contact information was there for anybody that might want to inquire about renting the space. But it gave us a way to really enhance the look, the overall look. And we're loving doing it. We're trying to put them in a few more. I mean, the good news is our empty storefront numbers are going down. So, but we'll always have these banners that we can use for that kind of a feel.
And with these banners, what are some of the landmarks that they would see on them?
Some of our historic buildings for sure. We have our downtown town hall, which is one of our most precious buildings. Waveney House, another one. So, and we have a collection of them, and we have some local artists that contributed the art. So it was a true partnership, if you will, between the community and the downtown business owners, as well as the chamber. And then we have an organization, a committee called the Tourism and Economic Development Advisory Committee, which I now chair. And that was really the body that took this forward and actually made it happen.
And how do you plan on helping businesses with the recovery process? It seems like you mentioned that Zoom that brought people in without having to come in. But I know in talking that you've had several other events that even if they're not downtown, they might encourage residents or visitors to come downtown after the event is over.
So I'll let Laura chime in on what we've got going forward, but back to sort of June 2020, when we recognized that reopening was in sight and we had so many new residents to town, and we really wanted to make them feel safe first and foremost, but also create some events that might attract people to the downtown. So we worked with our municipality. We created a pedestrian pathway so that the restaurants could take as much space as they needed because everyone felt a little bit better about eating outside. But we also created a campaign called #ComebackStrong, and we provided posters for all of our businesses. And the message basically was that it was up to all of us, whether it is supporting your business or helping a business that might need, we had a group of professionals offer their services pro bono to any business that might need some support, whether it would be inventory management, marketing, you name it. And then, of course, Laura here at the Chamber's got a lot of events that are back on the calendar this year, and that's what we're really known for as well.
Yeah, in 2020, we had to, the famous word, pivot and modify. We held a very, very abbreviated sidewalk sale at the end of August last year, when it's typically in July. We spread it over 2 days. We had probably a quarter of the number of vendors we usually have, and just focused on our New Canaan brick and mortar stores, allowing them to do that. We had to modify our holiday stroll. We made it virtual and viral, and because we couldn't all get together and sing songs. And we even adapted our visit with Santa. We made that outside. And now we're able to really get things rolling. We had a pretty normal sidewalk sale. We're planning on a Taste of New Canaan stroll to benefit our local food pantry. And we're looking forward to the Halloween block party and the holiday stroll like it normally is. So we're fingers crossed that we're going to be able to get back to normal. And all these events really draw attention to downtown and our businesses. So we hope that we'll be able to pull them all off in 2021.
And you mentioned, Laura, and I didn't even think about this, but new residents, this was one of the towns that really gained a lot of New Yorkers who wanted to escape the city. So you do have quite a few new people joining your town and exploring it these days.
Yeah, we are working closely with the Newcomers Club. They took a booth at Sidewalk Sale. They have a lot of new members. So we wanted to support them in that way, and our other nonprofits who are a great asset to the community. And yeah, I work very closely with the Welcome Wagon. I just gave her a letter to give to all the people that she's visiting, because it's old fashioned, but it really works. And to let them know about the Chamber and our community calendar. So, we want to get the word out there as best we can. We have a nice social media presence on Instagram and CBIA's Local, and obviously our Facebook page and our website. So we want to be accessible to the community. Our mission here at the Chamber is to connect the community with commerce, and we take that seriously every day.
A welcome wagon, is that exactly what it sounds like? Someone's driving around and dropping off a letter?
100%, and meeting with people and giving them updates on businesses and how to do things in town, and all that stuff. And she's been really busy. She went through some period of time when she was not busy at all, and now she's crazy busy. And as I said, she asked for more welcome letters. So I took that as a really great sign, and people are happy, even though it's old-fashioned, and to sit down and talk to someone who's lived here for a long time and knows the ins and outs, and where to get your dog license and your pool pass and all that good stuff.
And part of that is also to leverage the assets that we have here. I hate to refer to them as destinations per se, but we do. I mean, we have the Glass House, we have Grace Farms, we have so many assets that people come to New Canaan, even if you don't live here. So the Welcome Wagon, our town greeter, they all help us get that information out as well. And the Chamber likes to be at the hub of it all. We want everybody to think of us as a resource central. And many times we don't necessarily know the answer to something, but we can actually help them find it.
And what is one thing you learned during the past year and a half that you think has been very helpful to your businesses in town, and that you'd want to share with other towns and chambers that might be listening to this podcast?
I would say it takes a village,
Mhm.
and there's no way that, we could have pulled off those Zoom downtowns or have the events without the complete cooperation from citizens, the municipality, our Department of Public Works, our library.
Even our local tree service helped us when we wanted to get a shot from above. He offered his bucket truck. So we always say that it takes a village to save a village. And that's exactly what's going on here.
Yeah, and every town has incredible assets and hardworking and passionate and dedicated people. And I think you just have to be as open as possible to reach out, and everyone wants the best for their community. And that's what we found here. And people were very focused on helping our businesses. They really realized, how rough it had been for them. And our residents really responded very well.
And we have some rapid fire questions for you. Nothing too hard. We just, we want to know in Fairfield County, and maybe some of these are in New Canaan themselves, but where is your favorite place to eat?
Oh, we're not allowed to say that.
We're not. I mean, they're all so great here. We love our restaurants, even outside of New Canaan. Laura and I actually went out to eat with some friends recently, and we left New Canaan because we love all the restauants. But you bring up a good point about restaurants. New Canaan has become a destination for great food, and we're very proud of that. And our restaurateurs work really, really hard to make this a food destination, but they're all good.
What's great here is you don't have to leave 06840. Whatever you're in the mood for, if it's a milkshake, if it's pizza, if it's Italian, if it's Japanese, we have it all here, which is great. And you don't have to leave town. So I could not pick a favorite. It'd be like trying to pick a favorite child. You can't do it.
And there's still outdoor dining available right now?
Oh, yes. Our outdoor dining is alive and well. As I say, the municipality assisted all of the restaurants by purchasing these barriers so we could create the space. And we're actually about to take on a project on our Elm Street where we're building some bump outs on the sidewalks actually to even expand that space even further. But our restaurants actually did fairly well. I mean, they really, really did. And we've got Forest Street, which we love, which is really a food court, if you will, down there, and twinkly lights. And it just brings you back. You almost feel like you could be in Europe. It's just great.
Yeah, people were eating outside in February here. No joke. People really love our restaurants, and they're packed every night. I mean, I drove down here on a Tuesday night, and all the people were eating outside. There was music playing, and it was going on. Yeah. I mean, the real hardy souls were out there in February, but they were, and it's really made downtown feel very alive because so many restaurants have expanded outdoor seating, which is great.
And maybe, let's see if you can answer this one, but maybe not. But is there a favorite place that you like to just read or relax in New Canaan? I know for me, it'd be Waveney Park. Do you guys have a secret place or not so secret place that you like to maybe picnic outside?
Actually, Waveney is a good choice, but we actually have over at Mead Park, there's a great guy over there that runs our food service, but there's a little area under a colonnade where they put some tables and chairs, and it's very peaceful. It's near the pond. So I've sat over there a couple of times, but we're not short of that kind of place around here. Between Irwin Park and Waveney Park and the Nature Center, there's a lot of places where you could go and do that.
We also have amazing land trust properties. And one of the best kept secrets in New Canaan is we have a firefly farm that lights up from mid-June to mid-July, and that is always a favorite. You put the bug spray on and head out there at night, and it's an incredible show. It's very unique in the country. So I would say our land trust properties are great to take a walk and just sort of get away from it all, and they're tucked in all different corners in town. So those are my favorite.
How fun, a firefly farm. I wish I knew about that. That sounds awesome at night.
Sanctuary, and it's I think one of a kind in the country. Yeah. It's really special. So
put it in your calendar next June to reach out to us, and you can come up at night and put on you got to do a little walking. So put on your wellies and your bug spray, and we'll come show it to you for sure.
Definitely. I'm there. And last thing is maybe a favorite thing to do in town that maybe people aren't aware of. I guess the Firefly Night would be one of them. Or maybe you have a holiday event that's your favorite. I see behind you the Halloween parade poster. Yeah, or
I think the holiday stroll is probably the one that really gives you that great feeling. I mean, it starts the first weekend in December. It's on a Friday night. We have children perform all night long, from singing groups to dance groups. We have little nutcracker performances. and we have all the stores open and the restaurants open, and it's such a great feeling. We have white lights all in the trees. I think that when you stand there in town on that night and you see everybody out, kids, families, older people, you just say, you know what, this is where I want to be. And it's a special, special time of year.
Yeah, I would say that and the sidewalk sale, because sidewalk sale, everyone's, it's outdoors. We have our politicians, we have our nonprofits, we have all our great stores, and we have music and food. And it's sort of like a one-day festival, and people really enjoy it and, get a kick out of seeing everybody, especially this year. You ran into people you haven't seen in a year and a half, people that kind of aren't in your pod, so to speak. And it's a great way to catch up with people. So either one, once again, we can't pick favorites because we love all of our events.
But either way, it was very important to you to bring these back this year.
100%.
Yeah. And we're looking to, bring all of the fall ones back in action too. And we've got all the planning going. Laura's on her own. I'm helping her a little bit. But again, it's that partnership between the municipality, between the chamber and the community. Everybody steps up to partner with us. And it shows at the end.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm excited to revisit and interview you guys again and talk about some of the other things going on later in the year and go on that Firefly tour. But thank you for joining us, and thank you for listening to the CT BizCast. Please like and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. That's on Apple. You can find us there and listen for a new episode next week.
Thank you
very much.
Thanks for having us.